Julius Caesar was an extraordinary man, born into a noble Roman family. From his youth, Caesar had ambition burning in his heart. He dreamed of power, fame, and the glory of Rome, and his path to greatness would reshape history. In his early years, Caesar proved himself a brilliant soldier, fighting in distant lands. His bravery and intelligence earned him the respect of his troops and the envy of his rivals. His leadership inspired loyalty among his soldiers. Caesar's victories not only expanded Rome's territories, but also filled his coffers with wealth and resources. Caesar's rise to power came through a series of stunning victories. His most famous was the Conquest of Gaul, a massive region that covered much of modern France. His innovative strategy brought Gaul under Roman control. Caesar's enemies in the Senate ordered him to return to Rome without his army, a move designed to strip him of his power. But Caesar was no fool. Standing at the banks of the Rubicon River, which marked the boundary of Italy, he hesitated for a moment, knowing that crossing it with his army would mean war. Then, famously, he declared, "The die is cast," and led his soldiers into Italy, sparking a civil war. It was a daring move. Some called it madness, others saw genius, but Caesar's gamble paid off. He marched into Rome without much resistance, his enemies fleeing before him. He was now the leader of Rome. Caesar was named dictator, a temporary position granted in times of crisis, but he did not intend to give up his power. He made sweeping changes to Rome, granting land to the poor, reforming laws, and centralizing power in his own hands. The people loved him for it, but the Senate, the traditional rulers of Rome, despised him more and more each day. Whispers of assassination filled the air. Some senators believed Caesar aimed to make himself king. He filled the Senate with his loyalists and held endless public games to keep the people distracted. His rule was turning into a monarchy in all but name. Then came the fateful day. Caesar was warned to stay away from the Senate that day, but he ignored the omens. As he entered the Senate, he was surrounded by men he thought were friends, men he had trusted. But suddenly, knives flashed. One by one, the senators stabbed him. Even his friend Brutus betrayed him. Caesar fell at the base of Pompey's statue, bleeding out on the Senate floor. Rome's greatest leader was dead. Caesar's influence was unstoppable. His assassination did not save the Republic as the senators had hoped. Instead, it plunged Rome into more chaos. His loyal supporters, like Mark Antony and his adopted son, Octavian, rose up to avenge him. The civil wars that followed tore Rome apart, leading to the rise of the Roman Empire, with Octavian becoming the first emperor under the name Augustus. Julius Caesar's life was a whirlwind of ambition, war, and betrayal.